So, I'm basically making this because I just finished watching a video on YouTube called Demi Lovato Talks About Cutting Herself. I was not looking for ways to cut myself, trust me. The reason I'm making this is because I want to put my story out there as well. I know there's probably like thousands of these videos by now, but I just want to pile mine on because I think every story is important. Basically, I do have a lot of similar things going on with me that Demi Lovato has going on with her, had going on with her, maybe didn't even have, or something I haven't heard about yet. The first most noticeable trait I have about her is my tattoo. It says "Stay Strong," and I don't know if you can see it or not. It's kind of like right there. I can't do it to make you really see it, but it says "Stay Strong" in cursive. And I know she has hers on both sides, but I got mine just on my left. I wasn't really looking to get it on my right, but it's there. Now, I did not get it simply being a Lovatic or Demi Lovato fan, in case you don't know. I got mine because I am a recovering cutter. Some of my scars you can see very well. Some of them you can't. These scars up here, they were burns. And I have some more up here. Those were razors, needles, burning. Some right here that I cleaned off is like dog bites, things like that. They're just everywhere. Things you don't really think too much about unless you look really close. I'm 18, and the first time I cut, I was 10. And I did it because I was stressed out over something really stupid that I had done, and I broke a vase. And I took a piece of that glass, and I cut myself with it. And my mom thought it was because the vase hit me. I'm 10. I didn't really know how to draw straight lines, so I cannot really jag it or whatever. One of the things that I would love to point out to people would be for people to know that being a cutter is not the worst thing in the world. There's worse things that a person could be, like a mass murderer. There's much worse things people could be, like Hitler. But what I really want people to know is that the best way to talk to these people is not by yelling at them. It's not by threatening them. It's not by looking at them with that poor, pitiful look. It's by talking to them like they're a normal person. Most of the time, that's what a cutter is seeking: normalcy. What I also want to point out for anyone who's thinking this might be a good way to ventilate is it's not. It's a horrible way to deal with it because it turns into an addiction. Like weed, I guess. You want it to never end. That brief feeling of euphoria after it's done it's so enticing. It's easy to fall into the trap of it. I mean, it's not as easy as like meth or anything, but I mean, it's pretty damn easy. It's hard to fight once you've become ready to fight it. It's like nothing in the world, because it's not illegal. It's not exactly a taboo because people do it in other countries. It's very easy to do. It's very easy to get your hands on something sharp. It's very easy to walk around with scissors and accidentally cut yourself. It's easy to fall down and scrape your knee on a rock. well, it's easy to tell someone that. It's easy to hide it because of clothes. Um, it's easy to hide it because of areas where you always have covered up. Like, if you live in, like, I don't know, Washington, you're gonna walk around mostly in regular shirts. You're not gonna put on a bikini or a midriff or some shit like that. So there's always that opportunity where you can do things like that to your body. It's not something that cutters are proud of. They are trying to hide it. If there's a cutter out there who's showing it off, they're not a real cutter. They're looking for attention. If you know a cutter who's trying desperately to hide it, buying more and more covering clothes. Like, if this person was a person who always wears short sleeves, tank tops, shorts, like sandals, their hair's down or up or something, and all of a sudden they change their wardrobe to long sleeves pants, and it's not winter, it's not fall, then obviously they're not looking for attention. They're looking for a way to make it easier on themselves, so they don't have to deal with the questions. They don't have to deal with, why do you do that? Why are you being like that? You're crazy. You're insane. You're disgusting. Because I know that the scabs and all that shit, it looks gross. But to a cutter, it can be a thing of beauty. Like, my scars, to me now, I realize they're not what I thought, but before I got clean, they were beautiful. I wouldn't have wanted any other body. My scars were artwork, a patchwork of beautiful mismatched skin colors because of the different shades of the scars. Some were risen up and some weren't. Some still are sore even though they've been healed for months now. But that's the life of a cutter. That's the head of a cutter. Now, since I started off with Demi Lovato, I might as well continue with it. One of the things she said was she had an eating disorder. She would purge, and I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world, but it's not the best thing in the world. I don't have an eating disorder. I'm not gonna sit here and say I do. On the other hand, my best friend does. And she is I guess you could say, high-scale promia bulimic. Ordinarily, because we're different, I would try and talk to her about it, but, I mean, I've known her for 8 years. And, I know there's other ways to go about it at this point. What I appreciate about Demi Lovato is not saying that it's something that can just be quick, cold turkey. It's something that you have to deal with daily. Like, it's not always week by week or month by month. Sometimes it could be day by day, meal by meal, bite by bite. And I'm working on that with her. And it's gotten a little better because she would throw up everything she ate. And at this point, now it's one meal. And I know it's still bad, but we're getting there. It's better. Now, one of the things about me that I don't know for sure is similar with Demi Lovato would be addictions that I had on the side. I was not always sober, I guess you could say. Well, actually, you could definitely say sober. I was an alcoholic for a year and a half. I was a pill popper for a year and a half. I was a meth head for a year and a half. In love with acid and ecstasy for a year and a half. Like, all at the same time. It got to a dangerous level where I was taking these things all at one time. I would consume these things at one time. There's a point when I was taking 3 pills, each of 3 different types of pills. That's 9 pills, not including ecstasy. And promptly after, I'd go to whomever I knew had it and shoot up with meth, and then grab a drink. If you compile all those aspects with being a cutter, you have a major recipe for disaster. And it really got to a breaking point, and I became suicidal, and I attempted suicide. I'm grateful, obviously, that it didn't work at this point. But if you're dealing with situations like this and you're finding it difficult to move on, or you're finding yourself becoming more and more suicidal, please just don't give up. What you can do is, I don't know, talk to someone, your best friend or your dog, a goldfish, sea monkeys. Just talk. For me, it was talking to my sister, and because of her, I was forced to talk to my mom and get help. And after I did that, I was diagnosed with PTSD and DA. PTSD is post-traumatic stress disorder, as many know. DA is a more uncommon terminology, and it stands for dissociative amnesia. It's kind of like where you black out in your head, but you're still totally functioning. Like, I remember my sister told me, actually, she was talking to me, I was just talking back to her, but I didn't know. I was not aware. In my head, I was no longer present. Things like this happen because people don't always realize what they're doing to themselves when they're hurting themselves, and it gets difficult to tell the difference when you're hurting yourself and when you're helping yourself. But if you're in a situation like that, a thing you can do is go get help. Talk to someone, or talk to someone professionally, or become an in-house patient. Like, there's ways you can help yourself. And your family may not agree, your pastor may not agree, it might not match up to your religion, but I mean, if you're already doing these things without your family or your pastor or your religion's permission, what does it matter if you're helping yourself, you know? And one of the things I really want to put out there is, you're not alone if you're dealing with this. If you know someone who's dealing with this, make it known that they are not alone. There's someone out there who is going through something similar, or who's already been through it. Believe me, I've been through so much in my life, and it's a major contributor to the things that I've been through, like as far as addictive wise and cutting. Like, you're never alone, and if you're looking for someone to talk to and you can't find them because you're afraid of being judged, I mean, just email me. Go to my page and I don't know, look up my email. It's on there, and it's hooked up to my phone, so I will email you back. I'll get it immediately, and I'll email you back. Just, I mean, don't like freak out and spam me. Put your name and subject, so I'll know what's going on, and I can help. But I just want people to know that they're not alone in this situation, and that there has been a lot of suicides going on, mostly from the LGBT community, and I understand that, and it's an epidemic. It's a crisis. We're at a very bad point in our life with this, but there are those who aren't being touched on, and that's the people who are hiding in the background, and I think those are the ones who need help most. So if you know people, let them know they're not alone. If you think you're alone and that there's no way out, before you do anything rash, email me. I'll always email you back. Till next time.